Election sellout.
Just like the toilet paper. They were panicking.
Why an ammunition boom has one local gun dealer concerned.
The president in Pensacola.
People can expect to be looked at.
Everything you can expect if you're going to see President Trump tomorrow night.
A $5.3 million project down at the beach.
Sounds like a lot of money.
What the city of Gulf Shores is getting for that price tag and when you'll be able to see it.
NBC 15 News at 6 starts now.
The countdown to Decision 2020 is on. We are less than 2 weeks away from Election Day, and the entire Gulf Coast is preparing for the big day.
From gun shops to the National Guard, we are seeing the impact of the election in our backyard. NBC 15 News has team coverage all over the area tonight.
James Gordon is in Pensacola, where the president is set to speak tomorrow. We'll go out to him in just a moment. First, our country is seeing a surge in gun and ammunition sales ahead of the election. Alabama's not bucking the trend. Local gun store owners we spoke with say sales are up to 100% this year. NBC 15's Andrea Ramey is live tonight. Andrea, ammunition can be hard to come by nowadays.
That's right, Kim, especially for the really popular guns. Here at Field & Stream, we didn't find any .223, 38 or 40 caliber ammunition on the store shelves, and the gun rack was pretty bare as well. Gun store owner Jeff Stone says 2 days ago this was a full pallet of boxes of 9mm ammunition, 50,000 rounds total.
We happen to get lucky when we get it.
Today, already half of it has sold.
It's extremely busy.
Stone says the spike in sales started with the pandemic.
Just like the toilet paper. They were panicking. They thought that, there was going to be martial law.
Three Brothers Arms in Baldwin County says between civil unrest and the election year, the surge never really stopped.
We've had a 100% increase in sales pretty much the whole year.
Both owners say they're seeing a lot of people who've never owned a gun before walk through their doors. And while both locations offer firearms training, Stone says he's worried a lot of people aren't taking the time to learn.
They're buying the gun, they're buying the ammo, they're taking it home, and they're kind of forgetting about it unless they need it. And then when they do need it, they don't know how to use it. No, it's not safe at all.
And there's no sign that this shortage in ammunition is going to let up anytime soon. This week, Ammo Inc., which manufactures a lot of the ammunition for the big chains in the country, announced a record $100 million in back orders. Reporting live in Mobile tonight, Andrea Ramey, NBC 15 News.
Andrea, thanks. And it is that civil unrest that also has a very specialized unit of soldiers here in Alabama honing its skills. There is concern civil unrest may be stoked following the outcome of November's election.
It's been very unsettling all summer long.
Colonel Tom Tyler leads the Alabama National Guard's military police unit, 300 highly trained soldiers specializing in putting down civil unrest that may spark across the country.
It's such a volatile type of mission that we really need to ensure that our teams are correctly trained.
The unit's first mission was a deployment to Wisconsin weeks ago following significant social disturbances and unrest. They quickly realized additional training is imperative.
Specifically, a lot of training in decompressing an environment and disengaging and calming a crowd down rather than being antagonists, because we would much prefer to avoid a problem rather than confront a problem.
2 states, Alabama and Arizona, have these specialized units. They are deployed on missions based on proximity to the uprising. These soldiers are trained for war at Fort McClellan in Anniston. Colonel Tyler saying they'll be ready if needed post-election here in Alabama.
Think about what if we had to do this or that or the other, or what if that kind of problem presented itself within our state.
Alabama Secretary of State John Merrill is confident Alabamians will accept the election results, but he can't speak for other states around the country.
President Donald Trump will be back in Pensacola tomorrow for a campaign rally. Some 10,000 people are expected to attend. NBC 15's James Gordon is on site tonight near the Pensacola International Airport. If you are heading to Pensacola, there are a bunch of do's and don'ts.
Let's start with parking. It'll be at a premium and the barricades are already up. Expect a long walk to the venue. The parking is located at Langley and McAllister Avenue, which is right off 9th Avenue in Pensacola. Now keep in mind, it's about a half-mile walk to the airplane hangar to where the rally will be taking place tomorrow night. To get in, you must have a ticket and be prepared to face some strict security. Keep in mind, this is a standing room only event. No seating, and you are not allowed to bring a chair. No homemade campaign signs will be allowed either. The campaign will provide signs. Also, no umbrellas, and you can expect a chance of rain at the outdoor event.
My advice is to come early, bring patience, bring a poncho or a raincoat because of the weather, and that's it. Don't bring anything else, because after you wait in line a long time, who wants to be turned away to go back to your car to put an item away that you're not supposed to have, and now you might not make it back in. So in order to avoid that, don't bring anything but yourself.
The last time the president visited this venue, people started lining up and parking around 2 a.m. Now, airport officials tell me there will be a shuttle available for those who can't walk to the venue. This is a free first-come, first-served ticketed event. You have to get your ticket online, and we've created a link to the Trump-Pence campaign at our website at mynbc15.com. In Pensacola, James Gordon, NBC 15 News.
This is the 5th time President Trump has visited Pensacola since he announced his run for office. The campaign trail brought him to the Gulf Coast twice in 2016. Mr. Trump held a rally in Pensacola supporting Roy Moore in December of 2017. The next year, he held another rally supporting current Governor Ron DeSantis.
If you are heading through that area tomorrow to see the president or not, there are some important details to keep in mind. Here's another look at that map. You will not be able to access Langley Avenue at all beginning at noon, or McAllister south of Helen Street. The parking lot will only be accessible from 9th Avenue. If you're going, get there early.
Again, we are less than 2 weeks from Election Day. The deadline to register to vote in Alabama has passed. If you want to vote by absentee ballot, excuse me, you'll need to register by October 29th. That's next Thursday. Those ballots will need to be delivered by November 2nd. If you have a problem casting your vote, we want to hear from you. Call our voter hotline. The number is right there on your screen.
Before he boards Air Force One for Pensacola, President Trump is taking on former Vice President Joe Biden in the final presidential debate tonight. NBC News' Kristen Welker will moderate the debate in Nashville. Lester Holt, Savannah Guthrie, Chuck Todd, and Andrea Mitchell will lead the coverage. You can catch it right here on NBC 15. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock. The debate is at 8.
All right, here's a look down at Pensacola tonight, less than 24 hours before the president arrives. Right now, clear skies and nearly perfect temperatures.
Meteorologist Kelly Foster joins us now. Kelly, we've talked about parking and what to bring. Now let's talk weather.
Yeah, this time tomorrow the weather may not look so good, huh?
No, not at all, guys. We're going to go from clear to cloudy in less than 24 hours. I would bring the umbrella just in case and the ponchos. Take a look at the forecast tracker. We are going to see rain return to the area. This is at 3 o'clock. We are seeing showers near Milton, Florida. Pensacola not looking at any rain on this map right now, but we're not ruling out pop-up showers. Mobile looks to be the bullseye, especially West Mobile at 3 o'clock. Also over towards Fairhope at 7 o'clock. When the event kicks off in Pensacola, we're not looking at rain, but we're not saying that that's not going to happen because our coverage tomorrow is going to be at 50%. So I would make sure that you have the rain gear ready to roll just in case. Here's a look at the satellite and radar, and you can see we are beginning to see a little bit more green on the screen, especially along the Emerald Coast, and a lot of that will begin to pull back and head towards the Florida Panhandle as we head into your Friday. And our southwest Alabama counties, primarily Mobile and Baldwin, will also get in on the wet weather action. So right now we are looking at just a few high thin clouds over downtown Mobile, but those clouds will thicken for your Friday. We do expect TGIF rain action. Showers extend into early Saturday, and then we'll have a little bit of a cool down come into play as we head towards next week. We'll talk more about that in the 7-day tracker.
Now's a good time to get weather aware before the next storm hits. Download the NBC 15 weather app today. You can watch the latest forecast, track live radar, even get instant alerts right to your phone. Best of all, it is free in the App Store and on Google Play.
I know at 6, the city of Gulf Shores is moving along with a project aimed at revitalizing parts of its beachfront district. Tonight, NBC 15's Colin Cahill takes a look at the impact of these improvements.
Infrastructure upgrades, more sidewalks, and improvements in drainage will be broken up into 2 phases of construction for the Beachfront walking district.
The city of Gulf Shores has green-lighted a project nearly 2 years in the making. First and Second Avenues in Gulf Shores will be the main benefactor of the $5.3 million project that aims to bring back an old feeling to this growing city.
We had lots of new businesses that have popped up in Gulf Shores in the last 15 years, but here in the Beach District, we had a lot of mom and pop restaurants and stores that never came back after Ida.
Gulf Shores recorded 27 inches of rainfall during Hurricane Sally, putting enormous pressure on the city's drainage capacity.
The drainage in this particular area is even more critical because we discharge into tidally influenced bodies of water. So not only are we going to improve the capacity of the drainage, we're going to have debris traps that help filter the trash before it enters our natural streams and waterways.
The revitalization project is funded directly from a 2% lodging tax increase that started 5 years ago.
And that 2% is solely dedicated to transportation enhancement projects. And because all these improvements are within city streets and within city rights-of-way, that's where the funding source will be for these improvements.
Tax dollars at work. Both visitors and residents like the plan.
We definitely prefer the more of the mom and pop type locations where there's not a whole lot of high rises and all.
Sounds like a lot of money, but in that area, yes. I think when you drive down and you see all the people walking around, I think you do need more sidewalks.
Now with the new project comes more than 100 new parking spaces throughout the 2 phases of construction. Scheduled completion date for the project is summer of 2021. In Gulf Shores, Colin Cahill, NBC 15 News.
To take a look at the entire presentation, check out this story on our website, mynbc15.com.
Well, the pandemic has impacted high school football teams all across our area this fall. Coming up, the latest program forced to make changes this season.
It has also changed daily routines for the most vulnerable. After the break, how a local group is reaching outside to help while keeping things safe inside.
You're watching NBC 15 News, winner of the Regional Edward R. Murrow Overall Excellence Award.
A Mississippi judge is dead tonight, apparently killed by her own son. Her son was then killed by police. Moss Point police tell NBC 15 News they found Judge Sheila Jackson Osgood dead at her home.
Chief Brandon Ashley says officers heard gunshots, then a man charged at them with a knife. When he refused to drop it, officers shot and killed him. The man was identified as Gregory Jackson, Judge Osgood's son.
The Jackson County Sheriff's Department is investigating Judge Osgood's death. State police are looking into Jackson's death. The Moss Point officers are on administrative leave.
COVID-19 has impacted many of our lives, including a very vulnerable group, the homeless. Tonight, NBC 15's Jaysha Patel with the story of one local organization that is reaching outside to help while keeping things safe inside.
The Waterfront Rescue Mission has been providing for the homeless population in Mobile for more than 75 years. It provides overnight shelter, warm showers, and meals. Like many organizations, more people are relying on the rescue mission because of the pandemic.
We saw a major influx of clients coming to us. So last year, I think we served roughly 30 overnight clients in addition to our program clients. Today, we're seeing about between 40 and 50 coming every night.
He says that number is growing because of the economic impact of COVID-19. When the homeless come for meals or to stay overnight, the mission is taking precautions and safe distancing. The pandemic has even put a pause on some of their programs for the time being.
So the recovery program goes to help individuals that have life-dominating issues, drugs, alcohol, other things. It's a year-long program previously, and we're looking at revamping that and getting that back on the program for next year.
Right now, the Waterfront Rescue Mission is preparing for their next big event, the Thanksgiving celebration. They'll be feeding not only the homeless, but also first responders and healthcare workers.
Normally, we would expect to serve about 150 meals. This year, we're anticipating about 400. And so as you can see, we're going to need to fill these shelves with food, primarily canned food.
So as you can see, the Waterfront Rescue Mission does a lot with a little. It needs your help in the form of donations. If you can help, please go to the main office at 279 North Washington Avenue. Jaysha Patel, NBC 15 News.
You can donate to the Waterfront Thrift Store at the corner of Azalea and Cottage Hill, or make a monetary donation at waterfrontmission.org.
Across the state, the number of COVID cases is starting to climb back up. We saw a spike when several school systems went back to school. Apart from that, statewide numbers are back up to the same level they were early August. Clark County has hit 1,300 cases since the pandemic began. Baldwin County is close to 6,500, and Mobile has about 14,500 cases.
Davidson has forfeited its second game this week after a COVID-19 outbreak on the team. The Warriors were set to play Mary G. Montgomery on Saturday. Davidson already canceled its game against Fairhope that was scheduled for Tuesday night. They forfeited that one. 20 players and 2 coaches were forced to isolate. Mobile County Public Schools tells NBC 15 News. Davidson tried to fill those positions for Saturday, but simply didn't have the bodies.
Other teams around our area are still on for tomorrow. Our Friday night rival, sponsored by Mullinax Ford, is heading across the bay for Alma, Bryant, and Fairhope. Be sure to tune in at 7 o'clock over on our sister station, UTV 44.
Don't forget to join us for the Friday Night Blitz right after that here on NBC 15. We're going to bring you the very latest highlights and scores right after the news tomorrow night at 10.
NBC 15 News is dedicated to keeping you informed as long as this pandemic impacts our area. We have an entire section dedicated to the virus on our website, mynbc15.com.